Hi, it's Charlotte, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing another makeup declutter. I haven't done one of these in quite a while, and I feel like the last one I filmed on my channel, I managed to get rid of quite a lot. And yeah, if I'm honest, I just don't wear even probably half of this makeup, so yeah, we're going to try and downsize it today, and if you'd like to see that, then please carry on watching. Right, so these are kind of like all my primers, foundations, kind of all my base products, and believe me, I do not need this many. I just do not wear all of these. So I'm going to go through the primers first. I actually only have one that's got SPF in, which is the Super Goop Glow Screen, and this is beautiful. This is like my ride or die. I love this. In terms of primers, I only have one kind of primer slash setting spray, which is the Iconic London one, and I love this. I don't use it on a daily basis, but I do love it, especially like for an evening look. And then I don't have too many primers, but they are actually kind of one of my favourite products to use. I've got the Glossier Future Dew, which I love. I then have the Rare Beauty. I have the mini and I have the full size because I loved it so much. I don't use this one as often, but I do really like the formula. And then I also do have the Laura Mercier Foundation Primer and Radiance. This is probably way too old, and I don't have much left, and I actually think this has been discontinued, but I haven't got much left, so I might as well use up the rest, as it is really nice. And then I have my kind of glow filter products. So I have a confession. I did a video of finding a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, and it was on the e.l.f. one, and I did say the e.l.f. was just as good as the Charlotte Tilbury one, and looking back at that video I honestly did think that, and looks wise I do actually believe it looks exactly like the Charlotte Tilbury one. However, the last few times I've used this e.l.f. one, I think it's just not as moisturising. I don't know what it is. It just feels like a slightly more dry formula, and I still find myself wanting to reach for the Charlotte Tilbury one, as annoying as that is because of the price, but I can't fight the truth, so I actually think I might get rid of this e.l.f. one. I know, don't kill me, I might have to put an update on that video, you know. We then have an array of foundations, skin tints or tinted moisturisers, so I'm going to go through those first. We have probably like my favourite currently is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. I'm absolutely in love with this. This is the one I've been reaching for the most. I'm going to keep that. The Glossier skin tint I also love, just really nice and quite natural. We then have the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude True to Skin Natural Glow Foundation. I do like this, however I don't love it, is what I think. I would pick my other tinted moisturisers over this one, so yeah, I only used it once and I think I'm going to sell this. I then have my Colourpop Pretty Fresh tinted moisturiser, another one of my favourites. Like I say, I don't wear stuff like this often actually, but if I am going to be wearing a foundation or tinted moisturiser, it will be like usually probably this one or the Charlotte Tilbury. And then have my Laura Mercier tinted moisturiser. This one is like probably the first tinted moisturiser I ever bought and I was in love with. I don't know if they do this one anymore, but this one also has SPF 20, which is quite nice. Again, almost used all of this up, so I might as well finish off. Then have the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Foundation. This is really nice, but similar to the Giorgio Armani, it's just not my absolute favourite. And I do think, I don't know, I think it could be a little bit more hydrating on the skin, so I think I might get rid of this one as well. We then have the Rose Inc Tinted Serum. I've recently done a review on this and I really did like it. It's an interesting formula, and I do still feel like I'm deciding how I feel about it, so I'm going to keep that one. And then my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk is like my super glam foundation. I definitely don't wear this often, but I could imagine like for a special occasion, so I think I wore this for a wedding recently. But yeah, for some kind of special occasions I will reach for this, and I don't have many foundations that have coverage, so I'm going to keep that. Right, so these are all my concealers and powders. I don't actually have that much, you know, so I don't even know if there's any I want to get rid of here, but yeah, I'll do concealers first. I have my Tarte Creaseless Concealer, still like one of my favourites, just so hydrating, you don't even really need to set this. I then have the Body Shop Vitamin C Concealer, which I also love. These are probably the newest in my collection, which is the Say Concealer and the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin. The Charlotte Tilbury one is slightly too light, but I do try and make it work, like just by using a little bit. I do love both of these. They're really nice and hydrating. I honestly don't think I have a concealer to get rid of. To be fair, I do pretty much wear concealer every day. I then have my Glossier and my NARS Pot Concealer, which again, I use these for completely different reasons. I use one more for like coverage, for like spots, and then one for like under the eyes, and it's quite hydrating. So I love both of those. And then in terms of powder, I only have 3 full-size powders. My Rare Beauty and YSL, which are like my holy grails. They are like the most hydrating loose powders I've come across. And then I have my Charlotte Tilbury one if I'm feeling a pressed powder, which I kind of use this more, I guess, in the autumn winter months. And then I do have a tester for the Hourglass powder, which I don't really feel like I need this. I'm not such a powder person, so I might sell this. I also wondered where this one went. This is the Laura Mercier concealer, which I also love, and it got somehow lost in my mascara drawer. Okay, starting off with brows, I have the Refi Brow Pencil in Blonde and Medium. I've started using the medium now, but I've still got the blonde one that I used to use. And then I have the Ilia Brow Gel and the Refi Brow Gel, depending if I'm feeling like a little bit of tint or colour, or just kind of like a clear brow gel. I love both of those. I then have this Collection Incredibrow, which is kind of like a stick. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not the best. It doesn't have the best hold at all, but for kind of like a no makeup day, if I just kind of want my brows to be a little bit tidier, I actually think this is quite nice. So yeah, it hasn't got the most hold, but it's just nice for kind of like a no makeup day. And then I have my Glossier Brow Flick, but this is in blonde, so I think I'm going to get rid of this now. I also forgot about this. I've got this Kylie Brow Pencil, which I think I got in, I don't know what shade I got this in, but it just wasn't my favourite. But I do think like these kind of things are handy if I run out of like my Refi and I have nothing else to use. It's better to have this than nothing, so I think I am going to keep this. I then also have my Lottie London Freckle Tint, which I'm of course keeping. My Benefit Roller Liner in brown. I think I'm actually going to get rid of this Glossier mascara because it is completely dried up. And I did say I would keep it as a reminder to buy another one, but I think I'm just going to get rid of it, you know? I then have my kind of like top 3 mascaras, I guess. The Rare Beauty, Charlotte Tilbury and Dior. Some of these aren't my favourites anymore, but obviously mascaras are the kind of thing where if you've used it, it's either bin or keep it. It's not like I can pass them on. So I might as well just keep all 3 because I do change my minds about mascaras quite often. I've actually not been wearing mascara for a really long time because I don't know, I've just started doing something else now, but I do like it there as an option. And then I'm gonna get rid of this Charlotte Tilbury mascara sample because I can always just give it to someone. Right, so this is kind of where I keep my bronzers and palettes. However, it is quite a full compartment, so I think I actually might put some of the palettes with my eyeshadow palettes. I might leave those till last. However, I will do my bronzers. So I've got my Marc Jacobs coconut bronzer, which I feel like I haven't been showing this that much love recently, so I may have to put this in my everyday makeup bag because yeah, I just feel like I haven't been using it, but it is a really good bronzer. I then have my Chanel bronzer, which is honestly, it's like my ride or die. I use it every single day. I then have my Rare Beauty stick bronzer. I think I said this in my last video, I think I need to use this a bit more before I make my mind up. But my first impressions were quite good. I then have, this is quite new to my collection, in fact it's still in the box. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush bronzer. I'm gonna get rid of the box now, I think. So yeah, the reason I wanted this is because I wanted a bit of a deeper shade than my Marc Jacobs, so I actually got medium, which is very unlike me. So it's a bit more of like a summery bronzer. I guess I didn't really think that through, but there we go. I then also have my Refi bronzer, which is one of like my only cream bronzers. I don't have many, so I'm going to be keeping that too. I then have my Charlotte Tilbury contour palette. Again, I don't really use this that often, but it's kind of just one of those products I don't think I can get rid of, so I'm going to keep that. I then also have my Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, which I've really been using this a lot more recently and been loving. And then for highlighters, I don't have too many. I have two cream, which is the Refi and the Say liquid highlighter. I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of use the Say liquid highlighter as kind of like a glowy primer, so I might actually put that with my primers. And then I only have these two, so my Dior and Anastasia highlighters. I haven't used these in so long. I've become such a person that uses a liquid highlighter as like a base product or like a glowy primer that by the time it gets to like the blush bronzer stage, I don't really feel like I need a highlighter, but I will keep these just in case because it's kind of like more of a cool toned and a warm tone highlighter just in case. I also found this Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick in there, which I got in an advent calendar, but I actually already own this, so I think I'm going to sell this as well. And then I'm going to move on to the blushes. Right, I'm not saying I'm going to get rid of any blushes, but if anything else this compartment needed organising, I do find it really hard to get rid of blush. Let's start off with my nude sticks, and actually one of these is a bronzer, but I like to keep them all together. As you can see, I have quite a few shades of these. I honestly want to collect them all, quite literally, because I just love the formula and I feel like they come out with so many pretty colours. I also have the Refi ones, which I couldn't dream of getting rid of. Quite recently got the Tower 28 blushes, and to be fair, I don't feel like I need all of these. I don't know, they are a really nice formula. I think I am going to keep them all for now. Oh, I knew this would happen, you know. I then have my Rose Ink blushes. I love the shades of these. In fact, they've released some more shades recently, which I want, which is really bad. I also have my Fenty Cream blushes, and I honestly, the reason I love Fenty Cream blushes, not only because of the formula, but I just love the bright shades they do. Sorry, I'm not showing you all of the blushes because that would take a while, but I just love, I don't know, how bright they are. I think they're beautiful. I then have my Rare Beauty liquid blushes, which I wasn't expecting to love, but I honestly do. So part of me thinks, I mean, this is an awful thought because I literally ran around LA like a chicken to find these blushes. I know, I feel like I can't betray myself like that. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep the Burt's Bees. I might keep them down here and separate my powder and cream blush because I don't have many powder blushes. I've got my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, Exposed Blush, and Milani Luminoso. Then I've also got my newest powder blush, Dior in pink, and I didn't think I would ever buy a powder blush again, but then I did. I've also got this kind of like ready blush that I got, I don't know what I got this in, like some sort of subscription box, and actually it's really pretty. Oh, I tell you what I could get rid of. And this is quite sad because I don't like to get rid of Charlotte Tilbury. I've got the Beauty Light wand in Pinkasm, and I also really like the Glow wand in Spotlight. But I have this Glow wand in Pillow Talk, which I don't really like, honestly. I've only used it a few times. And do you even want to know why I bought this? Because when everyone was raving about Pinkasm about 2-3 years ago, I bought this thinking this was it. And I bought the wrong one. So yeah, I might actually sell this one. And then I've got my Glossier Cloud Paints. I don't use these that much, but I do just feel like it's a crime to get rid of those. And then last but not least, my Chanel blush. I love this. It's probably my most used blush at the moment. It's very like autumnal. Right. We're going to be saying the same thing I did last time, which is I don't tend to wear eyeshadow, but I do just love to have the options, honestly. This Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, honestly, has been with me for so long. I just love the smell of it. I don't think I can get rid of this. I'm sorry. I've got the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. Again, I just feel like I need to keep that. I've then got the Tarte in Blue palette, which by the way, we're going to be able to get hold of Tarte soon, so that'll be great. I'm very excited for Sephora to come to the UK. And then we've got my Too Faced Natural Eyes. This is so old. This is the, is it? I think this is the first eyeshadow palette I ever bought. It's either that or the first Naked palette. I then have my, this is like my everyday eyeshadow, which is the NARS Nectar palette. And then I'm going to bring in a few palettes that were in the main compartment, which I just feel like I didn't have enough room. So this is my Natasha Denona palette. I then have a couple of blush palettes. So I've got my Hourglass blush palette. I love this. My Charlotte Tilbury one. Not one I use that much, but still is just beautiful. And then I also have this Jouer blush palette, which I also can't seem to get rid of. I have this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It smells so good that I can't get rid of it. I don't know why I keep it in here. I think it's because I just keep trying to get myself to get rid of it and I don't. I then have another setting spray, and then these are like my liquid eyeshadows, I suppose. So I've got the Ilia, the Glossier, and my By Terry one. This By Terry one is just not good. I don't know if anyone has tried these before, but it's just never looked good on my eyes. I think I'm going to finally get rid of it. And I'm going to keep these two. I don't wear them too often, but if I do want to, at least I have the option. So there we go. I didn't get rid of a ton of products. Some of it was just old packaging, but I'm actually quite proud of the amount I got rid of. Those are like all the products that I got rid of, and yeah, honestly, this is a little bit of a declutter slash makeup organise, but that's fine. There we go, that is the end of my makeup declutter slash organise. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!